Psychological abuse is domestic violence. So when you sit in your class and then you have to stretch your leg to the seat of the person sitting in front of you or beside you to make that person uncomfortable while sitting in class so that that person can learn, you're violating that person domestically.
And so our journey began. Young leaders, fueled by the same passion to uproot a cancer in society, domestic violence. The more we choose not to talk about domestic violence, the more we shy away from the issue, the more we lose. And so from the houses to our businesses, to schools and families, we made sure we left them with smiles of gratitude. When it comes to abuse, you believe there's no way out. There's always help. There's always a way out. Use the darkness out of your past to propel you to a brighter future. To the woman who thought she only bears the title woman and no rights attached, we left prints of knowledge awakening the society. For a house where anybody is unsafe is not a home. The pillar of justice stood beside our propaganda. We stand to awaken a nation indeed.
First of all, I want to ask them, what do you understand when they say domestic violence? What comes to your mind first?
Domestic violence. It could be against a child, it could be against woman, it could be against man. I get to me. Yes. So just across sex or whatever. But now, everybody is with my wife, my husband is a battered wife. I'm not talking about the women with the battered.
Psychological abuse is domestic violence. So when you sit in your class and then you have to stretch your leg to the seat of the person sitting in front of you or beside you to make that person uncomfortable while sitting in class so that that person can learn, you're violating that person domestically. It has to do with emotional abuse. When you come to school, your teacher is teaching, you don't understand what he's saying. But you have so much pride in you that you don't want to ask that person in your class that understands better to tell you what they are teaching today. You go back empty-headed for that day. You yourself have violated yourself domestically.
When we talk about domestic violence, what comes to your mind? As the way they just say domestic violence, we think we can make the first on your mind. What do you think domestic violence is?
The husband, maybe the husband, the wife, or the wife herself can cause violence to the children or the husband.
The markets brought out the joy. The school students, eager to participate in learning. Grief does not demand pity. It requests acknowledgement. Certificates of participation and gratitude. Trauma may happen to you, but it can never define you. Don't judge yourself by what others did to you, because from every wound there is a scar, and every scar tells a story that says, I survived. The innocence in the students to communicate with a voice they believe makes a change. The motivation in our words to indeed break the silence. The attentiveness and solidarity of the children, youths and elderly. This is indeed a global pandemic buried for years in ignorance. Remember, stopping domestic violence isn't just a good idea, it's the law. For an age of technology, Ladov advocates went all out to organize discussions, conversations that revitalize our minds. The success in creating a website for a wider coverage, just to let everyone know that we want sustainable development, peace, and justice-strong institutions.
Domestic violence can be one of the most difficult types of situations to talk about or escape from. Sadly, it can happen to anyone: women, men, children, between spouses and even friends. No one is immune to domestic violence. It is high time we Sorosoki.